Whoever knew that baked rice could taste so nice? This recipe comes from my mum's multicultural cookbook, which has a couple of her recipes published in it. It's a Maltese based dish, and so I made it and we all thought it was really yum, except we thought there was too much rice to meat ratio. So I changed it up a bit, changed the ratio, added a few more spices, changed the technique a little. Instead of parboiling the rice, I just added the rice raw to the mix and then baked it in the oven until it was golden and delicious. And my mum and dad really enjoyed it and asked me if I could make a video for it so they can replicate it at home. And this is how you do it. So over a medium heat, warm up a pan for a few minutes. And when there's a little heat there, just add a little bit of olive oil, a couple of tablespoons, one large onion just diced, one large capsicum diced. So I'm just going to cook this for a few minutes until the onion's softened a bit. And that's just been like 3 or 4 minutes. And the onion has softened a little bit. And now I add 500 grams of beef mince. And the recipe says you can use pork mince instead or a combination of beef and pork. But I like the beef flavour in this. And I just season it with a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. And I'll cook this until the meat's browned and broken up a little bit. Just breaking it up as I cook it. And that didn't take long, just a few more minutes. And then I put 3 cloves of chopped garlic in, 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, 1 tablespoon of curry powder, 1 teaspoon of sweet paprika powder, and I'll cook that just for a couple more minutes until I can smell the spices and the garlic and the tomato paste has cooked off a little bit. Then I add a 400 gram tin of chopped tomatoes, a 690 gram jar of passata, 1.5 cups of water, and what I'll do is I'll just put some of that water in the passata jar just to get out the remaining bit of passata, and the rest I'll just put in there. So that was 1.5 cups of water, 2 teaspoons of beef stock powder, 1 tablespoon of sugar, and 1 bay leaf. And what I do now is just bring it to a gentle boil and I'll let it simmer for 10 minutes. And now's a good time to preheat your oven to 160 degrees with a fan or 180 degrees Celsius without a fan. And while that's simmering away, I get 2 eggs and put them in a little bowl and just whisk them with a fork, because that will be going in the mixture as well. That helps it bind. And I've also measured 120 grams, which is 1 big cup of grated tasty cheddar cheese and 1/2 cup of Parmesan cheese. And I've also measured 1.5 cups of basmati long grain rice, or you can just use regular long grain rice. That's all I had in the cupboard. And this weighs 280 grams. Now you'll need quite a big baking dish. And this one measures 30 centimetres by 25 centimetres. And I just take some butter and grease this quite well. So this has been bubbling away now for 10 minutes. And what I like to do at this point is just taste a little bit. It still needs Parmesan cheese and cheese added to it, so you have to allow that. It will add a little bit more salt. Tastes good, but it does need a little bit more sugar because of all the acidity in those tin tomatoes and passata. And perhaps just a little bit of salt and maybe a little bit of pepper. And I turn off my stove and take this over to the bench and finish adding everything else. I stir in the rice. And the cheddar cheese. And the Parmesan cheese. And then lastly, I stir in the 2 beaten eggs. And don't worry, if you pour the eggs in while continuously stirring, you won't get scrambled eggs. Then I pour this mixture into the greased tin. And you'll want a little gap between the mixture and the top of the tin because the rice will expand. And I take some aluminium foil, or if your tray has a lid, just use that. And I'm going to bake it for 30 minutes, and then I take it out of the oven, give it a stir, sprinkle grated cheese on top and put it back for a further 30 minutes. But this first bake will ensure that the rice plumps up and cooks through. And after 30 minutes, remove it from the oven, remove the foil, oh, it's smelling good. An important step here is to gently stir it. And remove that bay leaf. I forgot to do it earlier. And gently stir it so the rice is really incorporated and hasn't gone to the bottom, which it hasn't. Now this goes back in the oven for 30 minutes, uncovered, but with cheese on top. And you know, I'm quite generous with the cheese. This is probably another cup of grated cheddar cheese. Right, 30 more minutes. So after the second 30 minutes is up, it should be ready. And it looks delicious. And what I like to do now is just run a knife around the edge, so ensuring that nothing's stuck to the edge. And it feels lovely and firm. I'm going to leave it rest for 10 minutes, then cut into it and show you what it looks like inside. So this has been resting now for 10 minutes, and I find if you take a serrated knife, it cuts through the cheese easier. And the first one is always the hardest to get out, but I'll do my best. And it's lovely served with just a fresh salad or just by itself. It's such a simple meal. We'll probably have a dollop of mayonnaise on it. And there you go. That is baked rice with meat and tomatoes. And just a little bit of salt on top. I much prefer cooking the rice from raw than par cooking the rice, because I found it when I par cook the rice can go mushy, but this time it's still perfectly formed. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoy this one. It's just a really simple, inexpensive, family-friendly, tasty meal. And hopefully I'll see you again soon.